Hey, what's up? This is Pastor Lewis from the Link Church in Irving, Texas, where we're having church in the mall. God has truly been good to us this past weekend. We just celebrated 1 year of amazing ministry. And I can truly say it was nothing but God that even allowed us to make it through this first year. And I've learned a lot just being a 1-year-old church planter, and I think it'd be an injustice for me not to even share a few of the principles and things that I've learned over this past year, because I know there'll be many people that'll be coming behind me who'll be planting churches. But I think some of the things that I've learned will not only be beneficial to those who are planting churches, but if you just have a dream that you're going to plant, you're going to have to invest your time, you're going to have to invest your talent, you're going to have to invest your treasures. And I think these principles that I've learned and that I want to share with you now can benefit you as well. So here are our 10 lessons from a 1-year-old church planter. Number one, everyone you think should assist you hasn't been assigned by God to assist you. Honestly, I really just learned this about 4 or 5 months ago, because I had a list of people, a mental list of people who I thought would probably write me a check, would probably call me every week and see how things are going, send me emails every other day letting me know that they're praying for me, people who I went and ministered at their churches, people who I've supported for their vision and for their dream to get what God had called them to do off the ground. I just had an expectation of what they should do in my life. And then about 4 or 5 months ago, there was some bitterness that actually began to build up in my heart about some people that hadn't helped me in a way that I thought they should have helped me. And God just dropped it in my spirit one day and was like, how are you going to get mad because someone's not doing what I didn't assign them to do? And it was like this light bulb just went off. And it was like God was just telling me that everybody who you expect to help you is not who I designed to be a partner with the dream being built that I've given you. So that just kind of lifted a burden, and the bitterness that I had that started to build up from certain individuals who I thought that should have helped me, it went away. And now I realize that God has specific people that were supposed to help me. He had specific people that He would give my heart to them, that they would pray for me consistently, that they would help us financially, that they would call and they would check upon us. So I thank God that He designed certain people to help me. And guess what? It's the same for you. The dream that you have, the church that you're going to plant, the business that you're going to plant, you may have some expectations because you've helped other people, but God hasn't assigned everybody to help you just because you think that they should help you. So number one, everyone you think should assist you hasn't been assigned by God to assist you. Number two, mentors in the same arena are critical to your stability. Mentors in the same arena are critical to your stability. Hey, we all need some people who are 10 steps ahead of us. I gotta say that again. We all need people who are 10 steps ahead of us. When you're launching out, you're branching out, I know you read a lot of books, you maybe even got a degree in your field, but when you get down into the nitty gritty, you need somebody who you can call and say, hey, I need help making this decision. I gotta make this decision in 5 minutes. Can you tell me what happened when you were here? You need some people who got the t-shirt, been there, done that, got the t-shirt hanging up in the closet. They can say, hey, I did that and I made a mistake. Guess what? You can avoid that same mistake. So we need people who've already walked this walk. You gotta have these people in your life. You can't do it alone. You can't do it alone. You need people who have the experience in your life. So when you get out there and you want to start a business in a certain area, you want to start a ministry, a nonprofit organization, find people who've already started that same type of business. Find people who've already started that same type of ministry, that same type of nonprofit organization, because they can help you avoid some pitfalls. Yeah, I spent 4 years in prison because of a dumb decision that I made. And when I got out, I made up my mind that I refused to learn from making a lot of mistakes. Hey, I want to learn from the mistakes that somebody else made, and that's what mentors are for. They can help you avoid some of the same mistakes that they made. So number two, mentors in the same arena are critical to your stability. Number three, peers in the same arena are critical to your sanity. peers in the same arena are critical to your sanity. What do you mean peers in the same arena? So you got to have mentors. Those are people who are ahead of you, but you also got to have peers. Those are people who are walking beside you. They're in the same stage, in the same arena. If you started a business, you're 1 year into your business, your peer, they'll be 1 to 2 years into your business. What's the point of having them, Pastor? What do you mean by they're critical to your sanity? There's going to be some times when you launch out into that business, when you launch out into that ministry, that you want to quit, that you want to give up, that you feel like you want to just jump off the bridge and just lay it all down. But when you have peers who are in the same arena, in the same stage of life as you, they can say, hey brother, hey sister, I'm going through the same thing right now. I'm having the same struggle that you're having right now. I'm having the same problems that you're having right now. We can make it. We don't have to give up. We don't have to quit. Y'all can encourage each other. They're not necessarily there to give you all the answers, because your mentors can give you a lot of answers, but those peers, they can just hold you up. They can say, brother, I'm praying for you. Hey, I'm going through the same thing. Let's just pray for each other. Let's encourage each other. Let's not quit. Let's keep riding together. So peers, they're critical to your sanity. They can help you not lose your mind. Number 4 is don't expect others to eat, drink, and sleep your dream. I gotta say that again. Don't expect others to eat, drink, and sleep your dream. Hey, you're gonna have a lot of people that'll help you. You'll ask them, they'll help you. But guess what? It's not their dream. This is your dream. And sometimes, specifically to pastors, I think that we put a lot of expectations on our members to invest the same amount of time that we invest into my dream, invest the same amount of money that I invest into my dream, invest the same amount of talent into my dream. But guess what? No, it's not gonna happen. You're just causing frustration, and you're putting pressure, undue pressure on the people who are supporting you and helping you, that it just shouldn't be there. Nobody's gonna eat, sleep, and live and sleep your dream like you do. That's just reality. There's no point in getting mad about it, no point in getting frustrated about it. Nobody else is gonna clear out their 401k to help you fulfill your dream. That's only something that you're going to do. So don't put that expectation and that pressure on others. So don't expect others to eat, drink, and sleep your dream. Number 5, what works for others may not work for you. What works for others may not work for you. I talked to a lot of church planners before we started our church, and I saw how they did, how they became successful, and I even tried to implement some of their things, and I realized that, hey, some things just didn't work. You got different cultures, depending on what area you live in, the economics could be different, the ethnicities could be different, your budget may not be the same as their budget, your knowledge may not be the same as their knowledge, you might not have the same support, so what works for them may not work for you. So you got to make sure that the way God gives you the dream, the way God gives you the vision, you got to walk it out like that. You can't try what everybody else is doing. It just won't work. You'll find yourself changing the plan every other month, because every time you hear of somebody else's success, every time you'll read of somebody else's book and how they became successful. So what works for others doesn't always work for you. And I realized that early on, that hey, just because I tried what TD Jakes tried doesn't necessarily mean that I'm gonna have that same success. So what works for others may not work for you. Number 6, it will cost you more than you expected. It will cost you more than you expected. Whatever dream you have, starting the church, starting ministry, starting a nonprofit organization, starting the business, whatever it is, launching out, investing everything you have in it. Hey, when you get down 6 months into the nitty-gritty, you'll realize that it costs more than what you projected. It costs more time than you thought it would cost. That you thought it would cost. It costs more money than you thought it would cost. It costs more of your talents. It costs more than what you expected. So you got to be dedicated to the vision, dedicated to the dream, dedicated to the plan. When you realize that, hey, I didn't know it was going to take this much energy. I didn't know it was going to take this much passion, this much drive. But hey, I've stepped out, I've launched out, and I got to keep going. What's the point, Pastor? Before you start, know that it's going to cost more than you think that it's going to cost. So when it gets to that point and you realize that, you just got to make a decision that, hey, I started and I will not quit. So it will cost more than you expected. Number 7, it doesn't always work out according to plan. It doesn't always work out according to plan. Hey, you'll start in a certain area, you'll start in a certain method, a certain way, you'll have it written down, have it planned out, you thought about it for a year, and now you're ready, and guess what? It still may not work out exactly like it planned. There was a lot of things that we started out with the church. We figured, hey, if we market it here, then we'll get this result. If we went here, then we'll get this result, and we just didn't get it. It doesn't always work out according to plan, but you got to keep on striving. You got to keep on going, and you just got to go with the next part of the plan. You got to go with plan B. Sometimes will actually be what works out. It won't always be plan A. So just when you go in, the frustration won't be as high when you understand that, hey, we can try this. It may not work, but there's no point in me losing my mind if it doesn't work. I just got to go with plan B. I got to keep going forward. So it doesn't always work out according to plan. Number 8, mistakes are inevitable. Mistakes are inevitable. If I can say it a nicer way, hey, screw-ups are gonna happen. It's just the way it is, man. I don't care how much you read, I don't care how much you study, I don't care how many degrees you have in that field. Once you get into the nitty-gritty of things, you're gonna make some mistakes. You're gonna make some bad decisions. You're gonna screw up. Hey, that's just part of it, man. There's no point in losing your mind because you made a mistake. Hey, I've been here a year as a church planter, as a pastor, and hey, I've made some mistakes. I've made my few mistakes. When it comes to preaching from the sermon, I've said some things that I probably shouldn't have said. I've dealt with some of my leaders in a way that I probably shouldn't have dealt with. I've made some mistakes. I've had to say I'm sorry. I've had to apologize, and I've had to confess their mistakes. But hey, it's just part of it, man. I can't beat myself up because I got to get back up and I got to do this thing again tomorrow morning. So it's gonna happen. Prepare for it. Mentally prepare for it now. Put it in your heart. Write it down on your notes. Hey, I'm gonna screw up. It's just part of it. It's just part of it. It's part of being a dreamer. It's part of walking into your dream. Mistakes are inevitable. Well, number 9, everybody's journey is different. I talk to a lot of church planners now, and they'll say, man, I know in your first year you dealt with this, you dealt with that. And honestly, there's sometimes in the back of my mind, I'm like, no, I actually didn't deal with that. Or there were some things that people told me I would deal with in my first year that I just actually haven't dealt with. And it just kind of confirmed and let me know that everybody's journey is different. So I don't have so much expectations of what's going to happen just because other people said it happened to them. You know, there were some negative things that I was looking for in my first year that I just knew it was going to happen because 3 or 4 other people told me that it would happen. But it just didn't happen, and it just lets me know that everybody's journey is different. So don't expect, don't put an exact mind frame on it, on what's going to happen just based on what other people said. Everybody's journey is different. So yeah, they'll tell you what to expect, prepare for it, but God's plan is going to play out in the way that He said it to play out, and it may not be exactly like the other person next door. So everybody's journey is different. For number 10, last one, and we out of here like last year, you can't do it alone, man. Hey, I don't care how gifted you think you are. I don't care how smart you think you are. You will not be able to do this alone. I realized that the reason that the Link Church made it 12 months to a year is because of the people that God sent here. There's no way that we could be a church in the mall right now by myself. First of all, I couldn't afford it by myself. Second of all, I wouldn't be able to tell people about where we are by myself. I need people. I wouldn't be able to run the children's ministry and be the lead pastor. I wouldn't be able to run the greeter and the usher ministries and be the lead pastor. I wouldn't be able to lead the praise team. First of all, I can't sing. And my wife tells me all the time, I better not sing. Let her do that. I just need to preach. So we can't do it alone. So those are just 10 principles, man, that I've learned over the last 12 months. And I pray that it blesses you. Go out. Reach out for your dream. Everybody has a promised land. It wasn't just the children of Israel, but God has a place for you. And if you just step out in faith, step out on your dream, then God will take you exactly where He have you to go. Be blessed.